What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Welcome to an episode of Opinionated with yours truly. I am Resla, and of course, here on Opinionated, everything that we do is all about going through thought-provoking conversations, topics, thoughts, narratives, breaking those things down, and of course, all the things that are on social media that pretty much try to influence us to basically not have our own thoughts, but go along with the thoughts of the people who are spewing out whatever it is. It could be propaganda, it could be social concerns, it could be social justice, it could just be able to win the hearts and minds. But the whole goal is that we always go back to basics, to our foundations, and be able to always know that what we're saying and what we're thinking about is our own opinions and not the opinions of others. I, of course, am your host, Resla, and I welcome the showed up today. It has been a very lively week for me. Uh, and I appreciate everybody who's shown up here today. Thank you for everybody who's actually shown up. I've been very, very busy when it comes to a lot of the comments, believe it or not, that showed up in my last video. And I appreciate everybody who's pretty much shown up for it. So for those who have clicked on things in my videos or things to be able to view. Hopefully, you get an idea where the actual channel is, the things that we discuss, and why it's very important. So, who's the channel for? Of course, the channel is for people who not only have their own viewpoints, but now can also understand the viewpoints of other people. I try to take things from a very, how do I say, non-biased standpoint. I definitely have a lot of my own biases, but even when I have a particular thing in mind, I try to challenge those things and then move forward from that. So I want to thank you first of all for being able to just coming over here. If you're just walking in the building, do me a favor and of course hit the like button. It does something for the algorithm. No one's ever really figured out the algorithm yet. But let's get into the actual topic for today. Let me get myself together because I've got like 3 million tabs up. Yes, I am one of those people, in case you're wondering. I am one of those people who have like 3 million tabs. But I can say the general basis of what we're talking about today, and it's about, quite frankly, the dark side of content creation. Now, when I say content creation, I don't mean like particular niches or things like that, because I think that there's a foundation for everything that you're looking for when it comes to the world in general. Now, YouTube, and I'll just say YouTube since that's where you're watching me on right now. Hold on, blow up my candle. YouTube in general is as vast as the globe itself, so you can find something for everyone pretty much on the globe. But the question is, what do we do about the other things that are popping out in the world, the things that we're not necessarily looking for? Because I think for every business wants something to be prosperous and they want things to be positive. But what do we do about the content creators that are willing to do anything, anything in order to have a social standing within the world? And that means even embracing negativity, or as just some people just like to say, clout, since clout doesn't have negativity or positivity, even though I personally associate it with negativity, but we have that thing. But before we get into that, I do want to thank the people who are already here in the chat. So first of all, we're going to be looking at Khan Shonery. Yo, thank you for showing up. I know it is an early Saturday. It's a weird time for me to pick these kind of times, but I realize that this is something it's something I can do on the weekends. And typically this is my range. If I look to do something a little bit later, then I kind of be interfering with the other channels that I like to look at. So it's kind of hard for me to do things and then kind of want to see what they're doing as well in real time. So this is a good window for me. Uh let's see. What were you saying? You said you like the movie. I like the music too. I've been really going through a lot of different music, but this is the one that really settles on me. And you also say, out of curiosity, I do read the comments after the stream. I do. In fact, this most recent this most recent live that I did, I've received a ton of comments because it's a major issue that's not only affecting those that are within my state, but it's a reflection of what's happening across the country itself. So I have been taking my time to read slowly through the comments, making sure that I didn't miss any details, stop and reflect, think about what I was saying before I even responded to them, because I thought it was very important. And if it was somebody I didn't respond to, and to be honest with you, that was only one person. Only one person. There was one person I didn't respond to so far as of now that I'm live. And that's because I didn't really have a particular take on what that particular individual had to say, because it was more on the blaming and just shoving of things. It wasn't really an open-minded conversation, open-minded comment. So I didn't really bother to say anything about it. Everybody's allowed to have their opinions. I'm not here to combat yours or to really say that you're wrong. Everybody has their own thing. So that's the reason why I didn't respond to your particular comment. Outside of that, everyone else pretty much got responded to. So I do look after the comments. Actually, I was up to almost 5 p.m., to be honest with you, just this morning looking at comments because they were flying in by the dozen. So shout out to you people who actually looked at it. Also, shout out to you people who actually did the subscribing, because that's the kind of community that we're kind of bringing up. Everybody has their own niche. Some people like to like to pick the most provocative things. Other people just like to pick up the niches that everybody else does. And I really want one that's going to be really open-minded, because I want everybody's viewpoints. It's not just about me saying my viewpoints to you, but it's also about me gaining your particular perspective on things as well. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Locksmith Jeremy showing up. What's good, man? And so today's topic, I want to talk about the dark side of content creation. And we really want to talk about the dark side of content creation. If anyone saw the thumbnail, which I didn't mean by that dark side, by the dark side, but I really meant uh, in reference to the things that we see that happen throughout social media and how people want to do almost anything for clout. To the fact that we have a negative society that I'm wondering why, even though I'm on the very platform right now, why that we don't have YouTube enforces policies against the very things that they state that they don't want on their particular platform. And when I say that, I mean harassment, threats of violence, you know, things that can be strongly considered harmful for children. Keep in mind, I'm not going to put forth those particular content creators or whatever, because those who have been in the space or have been moving around in YouTube, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't necessarily need to show you these things, because quite frankly, you know they already exist. Plus, I kind of want to keep it not too edgy when it comes to the content. We all have an idea of the things that are going on here. I don't need to show you that. I don't need to show you to tell you that you already know that there are beheadings that take place on online. And I don't even know if that's a triggering word on the algorithm. I'm new to this, right? But there are definitely things that we know do not that are not very great when it comes to our culture as Americans and just in society as general across the globe. But yet these things are used to push forth popularity, to push forth in garnering attention, to push forth in getting money. And we need to have a conversation with that, in particular for this particular segment, because we can get into a lot of those other extremes. But in particular for this segment, I would like to go over content creators, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch, whether it's on Kick, whether it's on whatever, because content spaces are popping all over for streamers. And the idea is that, what do we do about the people that decide to go all about the extremes? And what do I mean by extremes? I mean like fighting, telling people that pretty much it's on site when I see you. I'm talking about those who, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to look for my notes because my notions and everything is all over the place. Um, but also people who are like, oh, when I see you, I'm gonna get you. It's like to come catch me outside, girl. Pretty much, come meet me outside, and I'll take care of you. But we have people who dox. So, for instance, some people like to have a form of degree of being anonymous, because maybe they have a particular job, maybe they're trying to protect people and their families, things like that. But then you have content creators that like give out their job, give out their address, talk about their family members. We have extreme content creators who talk about sexually assaulting not only family members, but the people, the very creators that they're talking about, which cause them to question some other things that are in play, but it is what it is. How's it going, CCD? Thank you for showing up. And these are the things that we need to worry about when it comes to what we see and how we interact and what exactly are the things that we're looking for. Because the question is, and I always do this when it comes to being on the internet, are the people that I'm particularly talking about, or the people that just show up on the internet in general, because we have plenty of examples of them right now. There's no way we cannot say that we don't know this. Are they being authentic, or are they being a character in order to influence us? Just some food for thought. All right. I wish I could have had some videos. I'm kind of just doing this in real time with you guys. I got articles upon articles, but I don't. I'm not the kind of person that likes to sit there and just read a bunch of articles because Jesus Christ, I am not. I just finished taking off my class. I am not the best person when it comes to reading a whole bunch of stuff. But I am. I am willing to talk about these things because I don't want to pull up. Here's the reason. I don't want to pull up those particular content creators that I do know who are in particular spaces because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not trying to give them any shine. I'm not trying to give them any shine. And the truth of the matter is that they grow like weeds. There are so many of them now. I wish I can say that there were only a handful. I wish I could even tell you that there was literally 10, but they show up all over the place. And there's no way I could be able to highlight them all, but I can highlight the particular antics that they do. And perhaps you can have a conversation as to why they do these particular things. So I'm going to be doing a couple of things in real time. One, I'm going to be talking to you guys. Two, I'm going to be going through what I can find in terms of content to see what I can and cannot use, because a lot of these people, as much as flagrant as they are, they also don't want to be recognized because they are quick to strike people's channels. They are quick to threaten people. And I'm a kind of person that say you can threaten me as long as you like. When you show up at my door, it's gonna be a different interaction altogether. So just saying. And I for one don't even care to be in those particular type of spaces. So if you have somebody that even barely throws out threats to me, I'm not worried about you. I'm not. I don't worry about you. I don't worry about the things that happen when it comes to me, because the only thing that matters is how I respond to it. But I do worry about the people who are negatively impacted, who are either around me or even around those particular people, especially if I'm talking to you, if you happen to be one of those people. I am worried about the people who are negatively affected, who are around you, because those people tend to believe that the things that you are doing are considered to be okay. And therefore, they are the people that also spew out these kind of negative things that end up hurting other people throughout time, right? So, first thing I want to go through is I want to talk about these content creators who basically they have fewer subscribers, like me, few subscribers. I'm just coming up in the game, right? But the idea is that they're amateurs, like myself, and they're aspiring to become professionals. Now, the issue is that they're focusing on optimizing their content by any means possible. They're not willing to do it the slow, long, and arduous ways that I'm willing to do. And I get it, because I'm starting off. It's a lot of fierce competition out there. And the truth of the matter is that I'm not even looking to compete right now. I'm looking to really figure out what's going to be a great brand, what's something that's going to be interesting for you guys that falls in line with both our alignments. I want to know that both you guys who will agree to not only watch but also agree to participate, but also for myself, that we're in alignment when it comes to having these particular type of topics, right? These particular type of discussions. I don't want to just review my algorithm and then see what you're really interested in and then just feed you that, and it's something that I necessarily can't stand myself. Some people are willing to chase things down because people like to hear content creators make so much money, which most of them don't. But content creators are making so much money, and you guys are willing to pretty much do anything so long as you really figure out what your target audience is. And a lot of people are like that. And I'm not knocking you, especially on a business perspective. But for someone like myself that just wants real, genuine conversation, because I'm a person that always likes to grow. I don't believe that I always know the answers. Believe me, I don't. But am willing to challenge people that do believe they know the answers, or spit out rhetoric, or spit out narratives and talking points. And I want to know if that's what you're really believing is truth, or is that the kind of BS that's you just come to believe because of social media, because of maybe even your social circle. Maybe you're the people that just belong in a very conservative family and everybody says that. So you're inclined to say that too, even though you don't necessarily see those things, particularly in your own lifestyle. Maybe it's your particular state. Maybe it's just how the voting district happens, whatever. I found a lot of very, very interesting comments, especially on my last video. And for those of you guys who already do know me, you know how I am when it comes to being in other people's spaces. I move the same way across the board. Sometimes I may move a little bit more aggressive depending on how much I've been drinking. But outside of that, it's just like I'm always trying to understand, why do people think the way they think, and why do people do the things that they do? Because I'm trying to figure out, is it for the interest of this themselves? And I'm not against people being selfish, but how does it affect us as a whole? Because quite frankly, we cannot move forward in any group, in any culture, in any religion if we're divided. And the thing that we notice that is here in our states, and even though I love this country, there's a big divide that's happening. It's been happening and it's continuing to grow. And we need to figure out what the actual crux of the issue is. Yeah, I mean, they do. They do. I think people who are more in the space of actually looking to benefit other people, because they think of who are their clients ahead of time, who are their audience ahead of time, and they move towards that. I think they do very well. It's a very, very slow process. And keep in mind, there's so many people that have more resources, that have a team, that are able to just basically drown them out. And that's the thing when you're getting on the internet. Things are like that. But then you have particular content creators, even someone like, I would say, myself, who just pretty much wants to do it the not the hard way in per se, because just starting out just as late in the game is pretty difficult, but wants to do it the authentic way. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of what everybody else is doing and then just ride it from there. And it's not really something I'm not really interested in, but that's what drove traffic. I want to talk about the things that are very important across everybody's world, the views that everybody sees, whether it be social, whether it be political, whether it just be the average things that you go through on your job. Because I'm a very big person when it comes to business as well. But just the things that annoy us, I don't give a damn. It's just how people interact with each other when it comes to dealing with each other driving on the road. These are things that I want to talk about, because the idea is to have a particular thought process that people have, and then how exactly do we go about trying to fix those things? Because the only way that we can move forward, even as a country, is that we need to come to an actual understanding. And I think more people are just so interested in having a us versus them mentality, that they don't even realize that that is the very thing as to why we're actually having a problem when it comes to being here in this country. We're not trying to understand other people. And keep in mind, understand does not mean agreeing with them. Understanding does not mean conforming to them. Understanding says, I understand their take. Because let's look at it this way. The only way to really beat your enemy is to understand their tactics. Let me say that for the people in the back row. The only way for you to be able to defeat your enemies to understand their tactics. If you do not take the time to know thy enemy, you will lose. You will lose resources. You will lose time. You will lose effort. Oh, no problem. No problem. I'll check you out, CCD. It's all good. You will lose time, you will lose effort, you will lose resources, you will just be in an Ouroboros, just eating yourself over time because you don't take the time to learn, right? So when I think of these content creators and I think of the things that they're trying to put out into the world, right? Are they really trying to maximize on their content? Are they really trying to really slide into the best areas of the algorithm? Are they really just doing this for discoverability? Are they even doing it because they want to be monetized? And when I say monetized, I mean monetized in the idea of getting sponsorships and being promoted by whatever platform that they're on, whether it's YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, whatever. Or are they just looking to garner support for the people who are like-minded, who just going to feed into the same things that they all believe, which is an echo chamber, and really just suck and drain the resources from these particular people? But the truth of the matter is that there's no real effort to grow. That's my question. Are they doing these things because they just simply want to be in a particular position to siphon from other people, which is being a leech, by the way, and just be in an echo chamber? And there's no growth, there's no real introspection, there's none of that stuff. Because all I see now in these particular spaces are people who just sit around arguing with each other, sitting around fighting amongst each other. And I don't get it. I don't. But let's get a little bit more into it because I want to. My notes are all over the place. I apologize, guys. I've been busy today. But let's get a little bit into this. So first, we have more established content creators who are pretty much already staying on the game, and they're all over the place. It could be through all kind of efforts. They have a media team. They got all that stuff. Then you have other content creators who are pretty much fluctuating throughout their views. They're pretty much migrating. They're pretty much doing whatever they're gonna do. And then you got the people who are shooting for clout, whether they are in there someone's chat, whether they are a reactionary channel and they just want to talk ish about someone else's views. And I think you are allowed to have a particular perspective on your own thing. That's already fine. But then they troll, they fight. For instance, I don't know how many people who are watching actually know of the debate that take place in some of these sectors, but I will mention channels such as the Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit thing that's been happening for a while. I even saw there was a recent thing for Aiden Ross. For those of you guys who might know who Aiden Ross is, because he's a particular streamer that's very, very popular. Let me see if I can find it. Uh you know what? Hey, what's going on, LA? It's showing up. And honestly, there are other creators that actually do agree with this. They agree with other things that have gone pretty much all over the board. I think I have a link right here. Okay, so hold on. And I will give you an example of what I mean. Because even he explains this, right?
Train, I have a question.
What's good?
Okay, so my boy Sweater guy got banned for a week for doxing, and the guy he doxed also doxed him. They're like in a little dox war, and he got banned for a month. The other streamer, the same exact thing. Okay,
Want me to give you my entire take on the entirety of Kick?
Yeah.
Let me tell you the problem with Kick right now. Okay.
So before he gets kicked, and for those who don't know, somehow if you're new to this, doxing is pretty much when someone will use your name, use your address, your place of work. It could be what you make for a living. It could be people saying that they want to send a whole bunch of creators, not creators, but a whole bunch of their followers or the people that like them, their fans, over to your platform to try to get you shut down. It could be people who will pretty much try to get you deplatformed by doing a whole bunch of reports, whether they're true or not. It could be a whole bunch of things like that. So that's pretty much the form of doxing. The idea is that they want to try to ruin you for being able to have revenue or discredit you so that you will be able to lose your source of revenue versus other people. That's the form of doxing. And doxing has gone to a large extreme. I know content creators myself who deal in dox wars or dealing with other people, but we'll get a little bit more into that. But I want this guy to explain it.
The problem is we give creators an inch, and all of them, because of their insecurity and desperation for clout, take that inch and take. You understand? If we create a platform that allows people to be more free, and everyone takes that freedom and does heinous, disgusting in the name of clout, that's why we are where we are today. That's why we're seeing all this bull. Like, why does everyone have to do these disgusting, crazy things when we give them a little bit more freedom? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So right now, like, the conversation of why is this person banned? Why is this person not getting unbanned? Blah, blah, blah. That's irrelevant. Right now, we need to ask ourselves as creators across all of Kick, what the here?
I like that.
Some of the that.
And it's not just Kick. This is something that's been on pretty much any platform, even to the point where you have literally audio platforms. That's it. People who don't even see each other. And you don't get as much of it, but they are out there who will see another platform who is pretty much making equal to, or if not, or even have made a little bit of judgments or have made their own criticism, because everybody's allowed to criticize, right? And people just take it to heart. They just lose their non-existing minds. And I'm trying to understand, why is that a thing? Why do we let this really go so crazy? To the point where you would say that you want to ruin someone by all means possible. And that's the whole reason why I love / have my reservations about reactionary channels. I think reactionary channels are very good. Not because of the fact that they're repeating things that other people repeat as well, but because everybody has their own particular spin, everybody has their own particular take based on their own experiences. Now, some people fall into niches within the actual reactionary channels, and that's where you can pick apart what's more important. I think if somebody's coming up with their own particular perspective on how they see things, maybe how they grew up, or just how they see the world because they're maybe good enough travel, that's cool. But there are a lot of people who just act very immature. And unfortunately, fellas, we got to hold an L on that. It are mainly guys that I see do this. It's not the ladies. It's not the ladies that I'm seeing that's doxing each other going crazy. Ladies have dox. I'm not going to take that away from. But it's mainly the men that I see that are going through dox wars. And I think it's very, very sad. Think about it. The world is large in general. The world is large. These platforms are going global. They're large. That means everybody has the opportunity to eat. And there's a conversation I want to have. There's a conversation I wanted to have prior to bringing up this particular point. But I'll let this guy bring it up.
That's being said, joke or not, it's taking like the freedom that we're trying to give and revolutionize on a streaming platform. It's taking that and it's perverting it, manipulating it, and taking it to extremes. It's like, what the look what it's creating, right? These very streamers are creating the very extreme sides that are being used for the very same cancel culture we all used to once despise.
That's the point. That is the point. Right then and there. And for anyone who wants to see this particular content, like I'll have to remember, but I'll link it in the actual description so that you guys can see it yourself. But that is one of the main points that I'm actually talking about. The fact that we've gone through kinds of cultures. And I was saying this in a previous stream before. I can't remember what stream it was. But then we had an individual that was in the stream that said that cancel culture is, I think there were a few individuals actually in the stream that said cancel culture is still alive and well. I said I don't see it that much anymore because, quite frankly, I haven't been in a corporate setting where I need to be consistently in and out the door of those particular areas in about a year. I've been mainly working on contracts, but I've been working hybrid as well. But that's why I haven't seen it, because it's just my perspective. But people say that cancel culture is still alive and well. There's some people that say that cancel culture is not really out there anymore, that it's pretty much dissipated. But yet we still have people that are online that are still doing the very things that they believe that shouldn't be done in the first place. Like doxing, like having that extreme amount of hatred for someone else who's pretty much doing the same thing that you are. Why is it we all can't benefit? For one, why is it we all can't collaborate? That's my next thing. If someone else is doing better than you, you should be getting some game from them. This is why I'm always saying that everybody should be part of your rapport. You should be building rapport with everybody. I don't understand it. What makes this person so different from you? And that's where the question that I had prior to even bringing up this particular subject. Why is it that and it's a flip question. So number one is, why do we always, for those people, why do we hold other people to higher expectations that we have for ourselves? That's the first one. And then the second one is, why is it we don't hold ourselves to a particular expectation that we set for other people? Why is it we're not rising above what we set for them? Because when it comes to us faltering, it's like, I'm only human. But when it comes to them, they're supposed to be supermen. And you could take that across the bar. You can say that across the bar. You can say that for how you want to look at relationships. You can say that how you look at your bosses. Because here's the thing. I love it. When they are your coworkers, because I had this happen to me. When you are coworkers with a team and they see you as that dude, as that guy, they got no problem propping you above. Yo, you the ish. And I'm like, nah, we the ish. Nah, man, but you know how to do this. You the best here. That's true. But it doesn't mean that you can't do well that you can't do well, that you can't rise to be. I'd rather have a strong team kicking ass than just one person who's a star on the team. Because too many people try to build a team around a star, right? Rather than build a franchise player team. Not for nothing, as good as Jordan is, he couldn't take it to the fucking playoffs on his own. He couldn't. Anyone want to remember Jordan on the Wizards? Didn't happen. We even got LeBron. LeBron can't carry a team by himself. I know we like to believe that he walks on water, but he doesn't. It was the same thing for Kobe. You need a strong team around you. You need capable people around you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It does not. But instead, we have this culture where we want to do everything that we can to take a person down a peg, even when those people say, you're the best on this team. Imagine this. You're on a basketball team, right? You are the best on your team. You guys have gotten championships. You guys have done all this stuff. But then you want to back out. You want to no longer be a team. You want to retire. You want to become a head coach. And imagine those same people that they're still playing on the team say, well, you know how to win championships because you did it with us. Yes. Why don't you go ahead and become the head coach? But then the moment after all that bigging up, you turn around and become the head coach, they start coming at you, start talking about all the stuff that they think that you're supposed to do. Think about it. You know how to win. They can't tell you shit because you know what their job is. You know what their roles and what their responsibilities, and you want to hold them to that because why? You know how to drive that success because you've been there, you've done that, and most of all, you've already worked with these people. But imagine they start trying to strip away everything that you are, everything that you were, strictly because you went ahead of them. And that's the problem that we have with people in a lot of cultures, in a lot of communities. People have no problem with the fact that you are at the same level as them, even if they can acknowledge that you are better than them. But the moment you rise to try to go above them, even when they sat there behind your ear, was saying, "Go sis, go sis." And the moment you get the position, use their stripper terms as I say. The moment you jump into the pole position, they looking for you to fall. They do things to try to make you fall. They try to slow you down. They try to pour oil on the pole. They try to get you to fall. Because as much as we love to see an underdog rise, we like to see a successful person fall. Why do we do that? Especially because we like to see a successful person fall, but we like to see them fall even when they are looking out for us. I don't get it. If you're not willing to look out for other people and someone is willing to look out for you, why would you backstab them? Backstabbers, smile in your face. But these people don't want to take your place. Why do we do that? I just wonder, why do we do that? Uh, do you believe that? I think some people do a pretty good job of not putting personal information out there. Because some people they're okay because they're building a business and what they do doesn't really affect other people. And they're very good at keeping the business solely on them because they are the brand. So that's very important. They're not bringing other people into it. They're not shunning other people. These are people who typically do the business like motivation, self help, things like that. You can almost say on some weird spectrum, kind of what I do. But they have teaching programs. They got they got all this stuff. So I don't think that they're really doxing themselves. Because here's the thing: you can't really dox yourself. You can't dox yourself. It's other people who dox you because it's information that you didn't want out there that they put out there without your consent. But I do agree. No, I do agree to an extent that as a matter of principle and rules, people shouldn't go out of their way to betray people. But unfortunately, we don't think in a very group centric kind of way that we don't. And I'll say it on both sides because we don't think to believe that if another person rises above us who is better than us, who got an opportunity maybe ahead of us, maybe they're not better than us, but they got an opportunity. Maybe they got the gift of God. Maybe somebody saw something in them that they didn't see in us, and they put them ahead. Why not utilize that person? If that person sees me as awesome and somebody else didn't see me but only saw them, why would I not use them to still springboard myself forward? Why would I see jealousy and envy and being petty as the cornerstones, as the hallmark to bring that person down, especially when that person did nothing to us personally? I mean, not for nothing. To you ladies, I know most of the demographic of the people I have happen to be men, but to you ladies out there, to those who turn around and they keep your dirt or whatever, maybe you do something wrong. I know we like to, basically try to put it out there that women don't cheat, but to those ladies who are basically not doing what they have to do, and then you got your best friend, and then so this must be George. And he goes, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Baby, who's George? I'm Jermaine. Who's George? And she just got her head down, and the friend just kind of got the smile, got the, who's George? Explain yourself, sis. Who's George? And you just now found out in the moment your friend's a turncoat. And there's many reasons for that. Maybe she want your man. Maybe she want that man George. Maybe she was just looking for a reason to betray you because she needs you to be just as single as she is. And there are people across the board who do that. People who do it in the workplace. I don't want you to learn to later turn around and tell me what to do. And you know what? A good person who knows a lot about the beefing and everything that takes place, especially in these spaces, especially in the Black particular spaces, is my man Cellulite. What's good, man? Thanks for stopping by. He knows a lot about it. I have taken myself totally out of it these days because I'm like, I can't deal with it no more. I really can't deal with it. So whenever I want my updates on what's going on in the world, I go see him. And for those of you guys who, who haven't seen Cellulite Podcast, I think you should check him out. He's got something good going on. But I say a lot about the content creators that I frequent, right? I say the same thing about if you want to know what's going on when it comes to how people are screwing up in the world, when it comes to the freaking crime and just how people are being idiots in general, I will always say, you go check out LA. Always check out the Thin Black Line. He does his thing. And I'm always willing to go put out anyone I'm willing to go deal with, because I think there are a lot of good and phenomenal content creators that are out there. Unfortunately, we do have a plethora of content creators that are not doing their thing for the authentic reasons. And there's content creators coming out all the time. But sometimes we only go to the people that are most popular, and we forget that not everyone, even though most of us do, I will include myself, not everybody does this purely for entertainment. Some people actually do get on the internet because they just need a kickstart for their morning. They just need motivation. They just need someone to tell them, get your ass up and go to this goddamn gym, please. Sometimes we just need people like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people just are not, for instance, how many people really want to sit around looking at the news anymore when it comes to politics? Not many. So we have particular commentators who like to put up a particular spin on politics. Whether you like to look at it on a comedic aspect, the people who are out there for you, right? But what do we do about those who, not for nothing, really don't give anything of real substance or any real value to their content, because all they do is bitch, moan, complain about other people? And I'm going to say this, and it's not going to sound nice, but it's not my saying. The saying has already been out there. Smart people talk about ideals. Stupid people talk about people. That doesn't mean we can't see what those other people are doing and then have an idea as to why these people are doing the dumb shit they're doing. But typically the people that are sitting there and just bad mouthing other people, those are the people that you really don't want to be looking at. There are some times we just need to, and even the people who have ideas, I'm not gonna just shout those people down. Even the people who have ideals, who have genuine perspectives and everything else, sometimes we just need to bring these mofos into the light, because they hide in corners like freaking roaches. Flip on the light and they all scatter. Except for these mofos, they're not your common variety roaches. They're like water bugs. They still sit there on the counter looking at you, antennas moving like, what up? Say something. You know what the saying is? Tougher than a New York City cockroach? That stands. It is tough. to stomp those bitches out. Tough. Same thing. I'll even put it New York City rats. Let's say tougher than New York City rats because poison is not enough. You need like carbon monoxide to take them mofos out. Rats is out there surviving like 40-foot drops. Yet people are not surviving 40-foot drops. Just saying. Ved, what's good? You got my biscuits today? Lots of flour, I'm just saying. And I'm probably going to have to make a topic about that, about the riots going on, as someone who actually lived here, as actually someone who's gone through that particular thing. Keep in mind, I haven't gone through it in quite some time, but I did grow up around the whole ideal of having to deal with rats and roaches. In fact, I got a particular story growing up. Maybe I'll share it, but it's something that we call the kitchen crusades. Maybe one day I'll share that little story with you as I had growing up, but we literally called it the kitchen crusades. It wasn't fun back then, I'll tell you that much. It is kind of funny looking back in it now, at least from my perspective. But yeah, everybody has their thing. But when we're dealing with these toxic content, these harmful toxic content just for the form of monetization. I can't say there's rat juice in the water. I would just say there's just nasty. Most of the water that you're talking about that the rats are actually feeding off of is actually not. I don't know what the hell rat juice is. What the fuck? But the idea is that a lot of the water that I would say that rats, especially on New York City streets, are feeding off of are the it's the juices that come out of leaky garbage cans that sit into puddles, and those are what the rats are feeding off of. And New York, while New York has for a while been trying to figure out ways to fix that, I think the most recent thing is now they're trying to mandate that everybody put their stuff in the bins. I got to be honest with you, this has nothing to do with just restaurant businesses altogether. It has to do with the culture of how people are in New York together. When we look at others, other countries, when we look at, say, Sweden, you look at Japan, when you look at like these places already have things in place so that there is a culture of not being dirty. And it's going to be very difficult for not just New York, but the entire country to not do that. Because when I think about people on the road, I just think about the mofos that throw out garbage while they're on the road, fly out in a freaking road, littering. And that's a culture of America, unfortunately, because there's not heavy penalties when it comes to that. Anyway, when it comes to these content creators, right? Let's be honest, they're all driven by the fact that they all want to be at the top. And for those content creators who are already in here, right? I guess I'll throw myself in it now, as I've been doing this for a month now, so I guess I should call myself a content creator. Has it been a month or has it been 2 months? You guys let me know. I forgot when I started all this mess. But the idea is that every content creator wants to be rich. Some of them be famous. Some of them, they want both. They ain't good enough. Do they get both? They want the clout. They want the money. They want everything. Some people are making as little as 10 grand a month. It takes a lot of work, by the way. Some people are making more than that with not as many subscribers. Some people are making way more than that with a lot of subscribers. No one has ever figured out the algorithm. And I think the most that I've heard someone, without looking at like the very top tippity top people who also, by the way, don't make money strictly from their one platform. They make it because they have several different channels. But there are people who literally will make as much as 42 grand in monthly payments. 42,000 a month. But these are people who don't just do it on one channel. They have multiple channels. So I just want to put that out there. But the idea with the rise of content creators that the moment they got a little bit of money in their pocket, the moment they got a little bit of money that was not earned by them. And when I say earn, I'm using that loosely. When I say earn, I mean by donations. Where's Will with his donations button from Umar? The idea is that they look to take the money from other people who want to support them. And that's fine. But they also place themselves in a particular bubble that other people may not be looking to actually sponsor them. Who is Resla? Who is that? So a lot of them are just looking to receive things from other people. But quite frankly, in my mind, from the way how I'm viewing it, is that they're not creative enough. They're not creative enough to really network properly, to really garner respect from a lot of people in a lot of different communities, to really branch out and be able to make something of themselves. They're okay simply with, let's just say it, super chats, cash apps. They're okay with simply taking from other people. But the question I really have to ask for longevity is one thing we talk about from the beginning, because everybody has to build from somewhere. I'm not knocking them for that. I'm only knocking those who have turned around and now made a living of it and have not moved beyond it. And they can turn around and use whatever excuse they got. Oh, well, YouTube be messing with people and they demonetize me. No. In some way, shape, or form, you must have done something to demonetize yourself. It doesn't just happen. YouTube has given you explicit rules as to what they wanted for you to become monetized. And then what are your AdSense? And then if you are able to reach out to get sponsorships or whatever. But a lot of these people, I'm just not even going to lie to you, because I've seen the mentality of some of these people, so I know how they move as a person who's dealt with a lot of people across different businesses, sitting on different sides of the table. A lot of these people expect other sponsors, other businesses and brands to reach out to them. Samuel, if I have been doing this content for, say, 6 months, which I haven't, but let's just say 6 months I'm working on this content, and somehow I blew up. Don't expect it, by the way. But somehow I blew up. And I'm just sitting here relying on people who are watching my content, donating to me. I'm not collaborating with other content creators. I'm not trying to get to speak and have particular perspective from content creators who are not within my space. I am not doing anything else. Do I expect, as much as I talk about rocking a fitted cap, if I was a person who did that, if I talked about wearing Jordans, if I was a person who did that, do I expect these people to reach out to me and say, you know what, you talk a lot about fitteds and you talk a lot about Jordans, we want to give you a sponsorship? It's not the way it works. Not for nothing, you're not important enough. You need to reach out to other people. It's only when enough sponsors have really reached out to you, because you have already reached out to them, that others will notice you. It's it. Some do it on a very low end, but some others, most sponsorships, I would say, most companies, I would say, look at what you've already brought in terms of numbers. And if you are a person who is demonetized, you are dead in the water. And a great way to become demonetized is doing what? Violating YouTube's policy. And that's where we need to have a real conversation about. A lot of these people in these particular sectors that I'm talking about, we just finished talking about Aiden and what's going on in their stuff. But let's just talk about this particular sector. Let me look them up right now. I didn't think I was gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself for this. I'm not gonna look at anyone's content in general. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not gonna try to highlight them. Okay. So if you simply did yourself this, let me move this out so you'll see it. If you simply looked at an area on YouTube and you did hashtag beef sector, these are mofos that just really go about most of their goddamn days talking, trashing other content creators, other people who are celebrities, all that ish. That's what they do. And tell me if you can spot the common theme within something that is called the abuse sector. Tell me if you can catch a common theme looking at this. I'll let you pick it out. What's the common theme that you see? I feel like I did Jeopardy music. What's the common theme you see here? Nope. No good guess? That's not questionable at all. The common theme yes. Thank you for picking up that one because that was going to be my second thing. You already beat me to it. But there's also some nuance to that. Because here's the reason why I say there's nuance to that. Actually, let me make my first point, and then I'll go with that. The beef sector is there. You go, buddy. There you go. That's it. That's it. There is no quote beef sector, and I've looked for other ethnicities. There's not. It's particular content creators across different spaces. Because trust me, I'm on Twitch. I'm on Kick, even though I recently started up on Kick. There's no hashtag for nothing but white, nothing but Indian, nothing but Asian. None of that. Nothing but Latin. Nothing. Oh, whoa. I've already heard how crazy they're going. There are other people that do a whole bunch of doxing these days. They're almost professional doxers at this time. It's crazy. Damn, you took the words right out of my mouth. They always beefing. And it's insane. Because why? They're all getting money. Why is it not big enough for all of you? Why can't you let the consumer choose? hey, don't hit on my lady like that, all right? You know she my internet lady. Calm down, sir. He said that they got you. Damn. Well, listen, you wanted to get into that ring. It's the Royal Rumble out there. It's the Royal Rumble out there. Come on now. And that's what it's mind blowing to me. Let me just say this. I have not seen motivational content creators publicly, don't know how they do it, publicly trash talk one another. There have been plenty of motivational speakers that do, like, they all go to Toastmasters, they all learn their speaking, they all do seminars, they all do their traveling. I don't hear anything about them beefing with each other. I hear about it say, yeah, I want to do more than the other person. Yo, this person, he does this, and I think I do it a little bit better. But not to the point where they are doxing them. Well, first of all, most motivational speakers use their name. But there's no doxing of the addresses. There's no doxing of there's no false reporting of fake subscribers on their pages. Like, these are things that I just don't see. I do not see these things. But as Butterfly Jones said it, I mainly see that they are. And to go to your point, I do see a lot of women that do talk a lot of ish, but not to the extent that men do. And the reason why I say it is because most women who talk a whole lot of ish in sectors, you don't hear them use the words pull up, brand new Lamborghini fuck a cop car, I pull up. You don't really hear that. You don't. Those are the guys. It's the guys that talk about whooping ass and brandishing weapons and what they about to do and how they gonna fuck somebody else's chick. And it's those guys that are still behaving like, not for nothing, teen to early 20-year-old men. And most of these guys are sitting in their 30s and their 40s. Talking like that. Some of them even got girlfriends. Some of them. I bet you do. But guess what? Are they going to stay away from you? If you rise in the ranks, sir, will they stay away from you? Or will you become another hot commodity for them? Because that's the thing about jumping into that pole position. Everybody wants to see you drop out. Yes and no. I can tell you that there are channels that they just don't compete. They look, because so many people just love the content itself that they fall into it. I never hear of cat channels negatively competing with each other. They try to do what every content creator should be doing. Try to capture the best moments, try to make the best content, not looking to tear other people down. I've never heard of a cat channel try to dox the residents of the cat. It just is not a thing. Here's the cat owners of that cat, and that cat's not even real. That cat they got was from a shelter, and they put little Specky back into the freaking shelter after that video was done. I never seen that. Never seen it. I've never seen a dog channel where they turn around and be like, you know what? That dog is not even a real dog. Or that dog is not the authentic version of that dog. That dog is not a purebred dog. That dog is a half-breed. And I know because I could have bought that dog, but I didn't buy that dog because I only get half-breed. I only get full-breds. I don't get half-breeds. And that person who said it was a full-bred is lying. And I know that. There's none of that. There's no people pulling up to other people's houses talking about, yeah, bitch, so what? So what? and your fake ass German Shepherd. Yeah, I said it. That's a fake ass lab. Yeah, I know where you got that lab from. No one does that. People aren't doing that. There's nothing to gain from it because you know why? I guarantee the same people who look at one person's content is looking at the other person's content, and you know what they're saying? Subscribe to both. Because when that person does their video, I love it. And when that person does their video, I love it. This is something that's particularly special for streamers. It's not for people who do videos. Actual content creators who have to really think about their shit, edit their shit a particular way, do the color grading a particular way, all that stuff. I try to learn both. These people are not struggling in that aspect because the truth of the matter is that you're waiting for your moment. There might be a video that does really well for you. And then it brings people in who now they get to see who you are and just want to watch you to see if you're authentically that. And there are people who they make a whole bunch of money off of faceless channels. No one's ever seen their face. There are plenty of channels out there like that. They use an avatar. They're VTubers now, which whatever. We got nothing to say about that. If you make your money, you make your money. But then there are people like me, people like plenty of other people that are out there who want to be authentic, who didn't just show their face because, quite frankly, that's the way to make money. They did it because whatever reason they have, but I say I do it because, quite frankly, I've got nothing to hide. What if I got to hide by hiding my face? Why would I create a curiosity that most people want to know anyway? Let's just get beyond that. Let's get to the content. Let's get to the meat of the issues. If I ever want to collab with other people, they're going to want to know who they're dealing with, not just a avatar. That's just the way how I look at it, though. That's just my point of view. So it's all about how you particularly see yourself moving in the future. I know I like to collaborate with other people, so therefore, me hiding myself wouldn't necessarily be beneficial. That's it. And me faking to be something that I'm not is also not beneficial just because of my own personal character. But particular people who are up there who even might share my point of view, but don't share my particular mindset, do the most detrimental acts against themselves. Are they really hoping that one day somebody's going to acknowledge them and give them the accolades and give them the money and give them responsibility and give them all the things that they're looking for being controversial? There's things that you can cover that are controversial. But when you yourself are controversial, when you yourself are the rebel, most of the people are thinking what they're going to do with you. There's this thing, and I'm going to say it. It's going to sound very nasty. For Black folks, since we've already labeled it that the majority of those people were for Black folks, stop thinking that the world needs to be afraid of you. That's not helping you. It's not helping you. It's not a thing to be proud of. Being dangerous is not helpful. Being dangerous is why we have so many racist views when it comes to against us in the Orient, which is why we have a problem moving forward even within our own country, because quite frankly, we move negligent, which is why we have so many discouraging stereotypes when it comes to us. I'm sorry, you do not gain extra strength with how much freaking melanin you have. You're not Tylenol. There's no extra strength in you. It's not. Hate to break it to you. Because being black ain't enough, because quite frankly, I don't hear about other races talking about colorism. That's a whole topic I'm not even going to get on right now. We can save that for another episode. So that means that you even say that there are people who are not as powerful as you are, depending on melanin, based on shades. It's not 50 shades of gray, it's 50 shades of power now, which has nothing to do with anything. I saw a short, and it was so funny, so interesting, but rather true. And the joke was, rather not the joke, the story was that that the guy said he knew a family member. He knew a family member. Guy was in the gang, selling drugs, rose high throughout the drug game, did all kind of drug trades with all kind of people, did it with the triads. He even went to China to go speak to the Chinese boss of the triads. And the Chinese boss of the triads even shitted on him. He said, I like the way you do business. You guys, black people, you're very powerful. You have so much influence. You get respect by so many different communities because they want to be like you. But it's so easy to destabilize you. You know what every other group has that you don't? Unity. It is so easy to pick you guys apart. Anytime you guys start come up, just do a little something and you guys fall apart like dominoes. You guys are so terrible at unity, you can't even organize crime. Let me say that again. You can't even organize crime because there's no unity. The Irish, the Italians, the Asians, the Indians, they all have unity. It's the one thing you don't have, and therefore you can't make anything big. Let that simmer for a moment in your heads. You will always be under the thumb of other people because you can't get in a group yourself. Exactly. There's no clout in that. You know, I heard that and I was just like, oh, my heart. And I'm not a blacky black, but even that hit me to say, God damn. I wonder, can I find that? Because I rather you see it. Oh, it hurt me so much. It hurt my heart. It hurt my heart. It really, really did. I wonder if I could find it. Let's see. Let's see. Where is it here? It was some time ago. It might be too far back now, to be honest with you. Because you know I'm all over YouTube. I'm always seeing stuff. Oh yeah, I'm way out there now. I'm way out there, so I can't find it. If I do find it, I'll let you guys see it. But it was wild. The fact that someone said that, and I was just like, I don't even know what to say. I don't have no words. I have no idea. The fact that we are so disorganized and have been for so long that we cannot even organize crime. I said it even on my last stream. Hey, Mel, Cold Truth, what's going on? Thanks for joining. But the idea that there's no unity is the thing that falls apart in a lot of aspects in life. And when I think about it, not just within Black people, but I think about that same cultural perspective, it's falling apart when it comes to us being Americans. I wish I had a drop that said "Born in the USA," because the question that comes to my mind when I look at content creators, when I think of how we react, when I think of how we put things together and how we should be working together, how we should be collaborating, just think of how many content creators are here in the United States alone. We're not talking about in anywhere else. And YouTube and those other platforms are as big as the globe. There's always room to meet people. There's always room to collaborate. There's always room to get money. Since we're all doing it for monetization, right? Apparently, some of us just want to document a process so that if something ever happens to us, let's just say I start having kids, my shorty's pregnant or whatever, I die, I say something nice, I talk about what I want in my kids or whatever, and I pass. Maybe there's some documentation sitting out there talking about this is what your daddy thought of you. This is what he wanted from you. Then so many people go in silence. And that's the big thing about the internet. You can document your whole process. You can document success and failure for someone else to learn down the line. There has been no better way than now for people to learn better strategies and more from history than now. Because now it's not just about them reading it in the book. It's not them from worrying about what their professor in college with the freaking purple hair told them. They can see it for themselves. If I said, I want to show you how it was done and pull up a whiteboard and do the entire shit and say, this is what happened here. And I was here at this age and I was boosting cars at this age and I went to jail at this age and I got this chick knocked up in this age. And over here, I was broke. And over here, I got rich. And over there, I went back to being middle class. And over here, I looked at my whole life and I had a large family behind me. You can see the process. It's not a theory anymore. You can see the actionable steps. You can see, because they allow you to even have tablets, not even just phones, but tablets in jail. You can get a dude sitting there recording. Yeah, baby girl, I miss you. I miss you. Daddy gonna see you soon. While sitting in the jail cell, little Rary get down. Hey, yo, little niece, I'm gonna see you later. You can have that now. You don't got to just talk about the guy who's in your cell who helped you out during a prison riot. You can see that dude. You have more opportunity to learn from the past than ever before. Because now it's gone from the point where it's just a literal aspect to a visual aspect. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy and phenomenal. Every single day. That's phenomenal. I think that is so interesting. We never had that before. We have gone away from the idea of pen pals. And I love it. Anyone could be able to reach out to each other. But then when we have these content creators, they can't work with each other. And wrong one. And we say beefing is for bottom feeders, right? Cool. But here's the thing about bottom feeding, right? They still eat. Because when we talk, because you know what, I'm gonna do it from a very disgusting aspect. You call them bottom feeders, right? How many people like to eat shrimp and lobster? They were bottom feeders, right? And they eating that shit up. Yeah. How you like that shit, Karshani, huh? I love my shrimp. I love my lobster. Bottom feeders, I'll be eating that shit up. Mm. Bugs of the sea, loving it. I'm loving it. I pay all that shit. There are people who will take it that way just to try to feign a win. Listen, there is. There is. Do you know how powerful some of these shrimps are? They be breaking clamshells with extreme speed. It depends on how you look at things. And there's somebody who will always take the worst and turn it into a positive. Yeah, prawns. Mantis shrimp. I bet those locked up. Damn. That's not the way to actually know. That's not the good way to actually know if he's locked up or not. Damn shit. No sea bugs for you? No shrimp? No lobster? Damn. You just the all meat girl? That's what it is? All right. Good to know. When we look at these damn content creators, like there's no diverse income when it comes to them. So, yeah, I can't with you. Salami. Okay, cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. There's no diverse income when it comes to these guys. For some reason, this whole everybody should just fight for the top thing. Like, there's no mentality. Let's just hit it that. I would rather work with someone who understands what the game is, who understands what the hardships are of being a content creator, of being an entrepreneur, or being with all the stuff, than somebody who has no concept of it, but thinks that they can eat by just taking you down. It makes little sense to me. I don't understand why people have that particular notion when it comes to things. Yes, that's absolutely true. India does it a lot. I think India is actually worse than us. But that doesn't mean that other black people don't pick that up, because they still do they skin bleaching cream and everything else. Anyone want, listen, that's not even black. That's Latin as well. Anyone want to take a look at some Sammy Sosa? Look at the before and the nows. Anyone want to see Michael Jackson? Look at the before and the nows. There are many examples of those people as well. And there's nothing that we can really do about that. There's nothing we can do about that. But the idea is that the things that we can control, because I don't see myself being on here. If I manage to find a particular niche or something that really I can work on, something I can really build upon, and you guys let me know as well what you're thinking about that. I have no problem on collaborating with other people, getting other people's particular perspective when it comes to things, and moving on to what this content space is. I even think that a lot of people who are here, even right now, are people who have either viewed a lot of content creators or even have been content creators themselves. It's not an easy game to get into. So to think that you would have somebody who is struggling just as much as you do, to think that they would, the only recourse in their mind is to take you down, not collaborate with you. Because I would rather I'd rather have two people that are sitting in negatives and work together to become something positive than they claw and fight to the top. In fact, that's it. Crabs in the bucket. Damn, I don't even know why that did not cross my mind until now. Crab in a barrel mentality. And the internet is so huge. And here's the next thing. As much as we claw and we fight and we try to hold each other down in that bucket, we're not struggling as much as Asian streamers. Does anybody know what's happening when it comes to Asian streamers? How much they're struggling? I was looking at this a couple of days ago. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find this. I wasn't even thinking about bringing this up, but it does fall in line with this. Here we go. So I was actually looking at Osmond's channel because I was looking at someone else's channel and then it hit me from Osmond's channel. And for those who don't know who Osmond's channel, he's a big streamer. But let's take a look at this real quick. And you guys tell me if you think that we shouldn't have more unity than anything else.
Crying out, China's 15 million live streamers, 98% struggle for basic needs. Sounds like your average American.
虽然攒了100万粉丝啊，但是我觉得我混不下去。
Hey, hold on. Why am I struggle streaming? That's
Is
weird.
this-
Although I have accumulated 1 million.
I know I got good internet. What is going on here? Oh, you know what this is? I think this is LA's plague.
Followers, I don't think I can survive in this market anymore. The revenue from my videos is insufficient to cover my basic expenses. My expenses are not just about renting a place and dining. There are other significant costs. When it comes to live commerce, if the product quality is high, the profit margins are too slim to make a substantial income.
Jesus.
My nights are so busy, but the earnings are disappointingly minimal, beyond what most can imagine. Yet having reached 1 million followers, who could give up on this market at this stage? It's truly difficult. If things continue this way, I won't be able to make ends meet. If live commerce isn't profitable, what should I do next? Why am I crying? Because I'm too tired, because I've lost my sense of self, because I miss home, because I feel lonely. I've seen enough of the absurdities of this world. I can't continue like this. I am planning to host a live streaming farewell event sincerely. This narrative.
She's planning on hosting a live stream event, but she's bawling her eyes out about how difficult it is to hold a live stream event. Because in China, apparently, they're not paid as much to do a whole bunch of stuff. Only the very, very small top amount of creators. Versus here in the US or even in the Western world in general, that if you pick your people, and they support you and they do whatever. Because I've seen content creators, not even the space for a lot of people who do know the spaces that I run around as well, because I see a whole bunch of different stuff. I got different channels to look at different spaces. But there are people who literally make content for a living. Like literally. And I don't mean like they're selling something. I'm not saying that they're giving a course. None of that stuff. They're literally being supported by a community in places like freaking Oakland, in places like Arizona. Like it's crazy. Colorado. Like they're literally just being supported because they give content. And yes, they do other things as well, but mainly the most of their income is coming from streaming. It's wild.
Narrative unfolds within the broader context of
Jesus.
China's flourishing online environment, where the live streaming market has rapidly ascended.
Bro, people in the chat are just spamming OnlyFans. Live streaming is sucking the soul out of you, so why don't you just go and make porn instead? Oh boy.
Enticing numerous youths with the prospect of lucrative earnings. According to a recent study, as of now, there are 15.08 million professional live streamers in China. However,
Wow.
the majority find
Look at
themselves
them all.
at the bottom of an economic pyramid. Experts note that 2% of these streamers capture 80% of the income.
Well, I remember Bernie Sanders talking about that. Damn, it just keeps happening, huh?
Leaving the vast majority struggling for basic sustenance. The research report on the development of China's online audiovisual industry reveals that as of December 2023, there are over 1.55 billion short video accounts, meaning roughly 1 in every 100 people in China is a professional streamer.
So think about that. Think about that. That's not. It's only from 2023. There's not a lot going on there. Like people are definitely struggling, and I never thought that as many people. No, now I think about it right now is when I think about the population of China itself. Right, when I think about the population of China, yes, there are a lot of streamers. I just didn't know that streaming had become a regular source of income. So it's kind of wild to me, but I didn't still think that they made so little money.
That's what? No, like how many garbage men are there in the US? There are 63,000 garbage collectors. Okay, so 63,000 into, so they have twice as many live streamers, a little bit more actually, than like proportionally than we have for garbage men. This is insane.
Mainstream short video platforms upload close to 80 million videos daily, and there are more than 3.5 million live streaming sessions. China has approximately 1.41 million live streaming related.
Look how many of them are streaming at once. That's crazy. It is. It absolutely is. But that's the issue with getting into content creation, period. Like in this day and age, in 2024, I would say even as early as not for nothing, 2020. 2020 gave everybody a big reset to jump into the market. I'm mad that I didn't pop off and just jump in 2020. There were so many different avenues I could have done, but my ass was just too busy just doing other shit. Well, I did get a promotion that year, so I was already building something else. But content creation was something I should have definitely done while I had my free time. And you're right. But then the thing that they have so many platforms, right? But I never thought I would see a community of people who just in there, one after another, after another, after another. They all got their own phone streaming. Think about it. You're streaming and you can hear the next bitch right next to you chomping on the same thing that you chomping on. That's kind of wild.
Businesses, registering steady growth over the past
Wait,
decade.
they're all on their own stream. Look, they're all... Jesus.
Particularly in the last 3 years, with an increase between 90% to 200%. Live commerce, a novel business model of the internet age, has robustly surged. According to the Ministry of Commerce, in the first 11 months of 2023, national online retail sales reached 14 trillion yuan, with live streaming sales exceeding 2.2 trillion yuan, marking a 58.9% increase from the previous year and constituting 18.1% of the total online retail revenue. The data further shows that among those whose primary income is from live streaming, Only 0.4% earn more than 100,000 yuan per month, while
Oh my God. Let me do a quick comparison for that. 100,000 is $14,000 a month. Did she say 100,000 or 10,000?
the data further
100,000.
shows that among those whose primary income is from live streaming, only 0.4% earn more than 100,000 yuan per month, while 95.2% earn less than 5,000 yuan.
And how much is 5,000? Okay, so like basically that 0.4% is eating real good because that's $14,000 a month. 700. So most of them are making 95% are making under.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if most content creators only made around $700 a month? 95%. Do you think that this game that we play into, as getting into streaming, as getting into content creators, because think about it, people don't really pay attention. And keep in mind, they're streaming, but content creators in general, platforms are not. If you think that you are putting on a bunch of platforms where basically you are able to put up your content, you're hoping for the best it's really going to turn out for a lot of different people, for yourself, for your families, because these people got families and everything like that, and you are only making about $700 a month, not a week, not bi-weekly, a month. What do you think is really turning out for yourself and for your future? The struggle is real. Do you think that honestly a lot of content creators would even get into the game if they were only going to be able to make $700 a month? I think some people would. I think the majority of people would do what? Work a job. And the question is, would they even work a part-time job? Because I'm the kind of person that I look at it and saying that I would almost rather work 2 part-time jobs, just trying to figure out how I can get those things to work together, than work 1 full-time job, because I could definitely make more from working 2 part-time jobs. That's just me. But yeah, actually, you're right, Rob. They are. But the idea that we even have content creators that we can't even figure out what our algorithms are, to be honest with you. So the idea that we have people who have 1, 2, 3, 4 million. I think the most that I saw looking at somewhere said that there was a person who had like 27. It's probably more, but it was like, I think it was like 27 million subscribers. Million subscribers. How do you get that? And I think it was a music channel. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see right now. What is the highest platform that I can see on YouTube? Oh, let's see. Can I see? Can they give me a listing? YouTube, Switch. Let's see the top 50. I'm going to do it by subs because we're going to go by subs. Woo! I am so off. So off. So according to, let me make sure I do this properly. According to, and just so I'm not talking blowing smoke up your ass, you get to see it yourself. According to Social Blade, which does estimates, by the way, does estimates. But here, right, shows that, and let's go back there. Oops. I fucked that up. Hold up. So according to Social Blade, believe it or not, Tesla series has, as far as subscribers go, 263 million subscribers. Mr. Beast, believe it or not, wasn't sitting at number 2 last time I saw him. He was like down by like number 15. But now he's back at number 2 with 252 million subscribers. Just think that it's so difficult to get your first. I'm not even gonna lie. It's tough for you to get your first 1,000 subscribers. Just 1,000. Then on top of that, it's tough for you to get even past 30,000 subscribers. Because a lot of people struggle past 30,000 subscribers. There's some people who even get stuck, around 15. But then to be the ideal person who gets 100,000 subscribers, you have to really understand the game. But then you get those who get their first million. And I'm assuming these are people who have been in the game for a number of years. What the hell would you be needing to do outside of Elon Musk? We're going to take Tesla out of that. But just to say Mr. Beast, who's got people, but he's also got different channels as well. So let's look at someone like whoever the hell. Coco Melon Nursery Rhymes. Holy shit. At 17.4 million. Folks, do you not see the estimated yearly earnings between 5 million and 87.7 million? I'm tired of looking at this. And yet, we have people who are barely making 15, 7 million, who are sitting here doing beef wars with one another, who are doxing each other, making each other unsafe. You're fighting for the very few. You're literally fighting for scraps, for crumbs on the table, putting other people's lives in jeopardy rather than collaborating and working with one another. Is it worth it? Think about it. Are you a proper business person? Is it worth it? I don't think you're thinking about business. I think most of your bullshit, yes, I'm going to curse it out now. Your bullshit is personal, not professional. You're not a business person. Again, I have no problem with you bringing people out to the light, but when you make it your business to talk about other people in particular, it's no longer your business. What you're doing is personal. You're being petty. Or as some people would say, I'm not gonna say that I'm saying it, but some people would say you're being a bitch. I don't think it's necessary for you to have to do that. I think you should have to say your 1, maybe 2 pieces and move on. Move on. Because the best way to take care of a person that you look at as an ancient person, the best way to look at somebody who is your enemy is to ignore them. Hate is not your power. It's indifference. Having no care for them. Because if you hate them, you care. If you can't stand them and you need to consecutively keep talking about them, you care. You care. Oh, did you? Oh, congrats. I haven't been on my Instagram in a minute. I still haven't redone my Instagram. So congrats on that. I should really redo my Instagram. I haven't done anything for a while. I got so much work I got to do, guys. You don't even realize it. But the idea is that if you have to constantly keep focusing on other people rather than focusing on what you should be doing, like providing good content, providing a way to get better at your content for individuals. I don't see the purpose why you're so fixated. Some people just need to get addressed. I'm not taking that away from you. But they cannot be the meat of your conversation. And I would say that to anyone who's looking to go beyond getting donations. Not for nothing. Guys, I've been doing this with you guys for a little bit now. I have to literally look back to see how long I've been doing content for you guys. I think it's been 1 or 2. I don't even know if it's been 3 months. Might be. I have to go back and check. Don't even bother telling me. I'll go back and check after the show. But the ideal is that as we progress through this thing, right? The one thing you really don't see me do, because I forget for one, but 2, because I understand this is an early part of the process, is that I don't really hit you up for anything. Not because I'm good and I'm sunny and I'm doing everything and I'm making money, da da da. No, because I struggle just like you guys. But I also understand how important it is that you give your patronage to people that you believe is giving you the best amount of content, or the people that you believe that will give you something in the future. So in my viewpoint, it's like, if I am not providing you with the kind of content that you're looking for, if I am not moving in a particular direction that shows kind of growth, you don't need to send me anything. I understand that, because there's so many people that we can even say won't comment in the comment section. You can get millions of views if you like, and very few, comments, even less than that. You can probably even get less likes. And again, it's not something I harp on. It's like, you do it if you're inclined, because I'm all about the process. I I don't want to be a rising meteor, or a flying comet. I understand how important this game is. I would like to be consistent with you guys. I like to be the moon, just always reliable with you guys if I can. But I ask the same from you. If you do enjoy this content, if you do enjoy what I'm saying, if you have any particular suggestions of things that I can actually bring on as we get more people that come into this community, and as I try to figure out ways for us to be able to work more together with one another, let me know. This channel, as much as I have to do a lot of stuff for it, it's not solely about me. It's about us and what we're thinking about, and how we can think differently versus all of the BS that we see on a regular basis that, quite frankly, just tries to put us in their space. What about a space that is all homogenous? We don't get that. We don't get a space that's homogenous. We don't get a space that is willing to really listen to the viewpoints of other people, because we get stuck in echo chambers. I'm willing to always hear in a viewpoint that's different from mine, not for nothing. And there are particular streams where I will just straight up throw a link right in the chat. Click, come in at a particular point, and we can talk about everything that's being discussed. And you give me your viewpoints. Maybe we agree, maybe we disagree. But the idea is that we catch a little bit of common ground. And I think it's important. I don't have all the answers, nor do I believe that I know everything. I'm always willing to hear someone else's viewpoint. But that's just my thoughts. And as I'm always trying to figure out a way to curate the content, I'm always trying to figure out how I'm going to get a little bit more better at this thing, because I think about it every week. I hope that I can only bring you something that you can think that is very beneficial. Because some of you guys only look for entertainment. Some of you guys actually look for a little bit of information. And some of you guys, depending on what I'm talking about, have no problem having your views challenged. And for those who do that, I appreciate you, because it means you're open-minded and you're ready for growth. And I don't think a lot of people are. A lot of people just want to hear things that they want to believe is true, rather than believe that what they're saying may just be their own personal feelings because their butt hurt. I said what I said. Mm. I think it's a lot of people. I agree. And some people, sometimes those who are tougher, they're willing to make particular. I don't even think it's a sacrifice. Like I was about to say particular sacrifices, but to be honest, it's not even a sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice for you to want something more for yourself. To want it. It's not a sacrifice for you to want to be authentic. It's not a sacrifice for you not to just want to be like everybody else. It's not. It takes work to just you want to have something that's particularly you. Because we get so caught up in everybody else's stuff. How do we be like somebody else? How can I beat somebody else? I'm not looking for anyone to beat. And again, I talk to content creators. I go to content creators' platform. I support other content creators. When I see there's nothing really going on and I'm not in a tired mood and I'm in a fuck it mood, I get up on their platforms. I talk. Not because I want something out of them, but because I also understand, just as a business thing, how difficult it is. And because I've been willing to put myself out there as well. Why not have a conversation? Why not? That's my whole thing, is to have conversations, to come to an understanding. Sometimes it's just to understand, what the hell are you thinking, even if I disagree with it? And I don't think a lot of us are willing to do that. I'm just saying. I appreciate that. Honestly, I do. 'Cause I'm very much down on myself about what I can do and how much I can always push forward something. I'm always thinking about not what I can do to draw you guys in. That's really not on my mind. What I'm always thinking about is how I can bring better content. How can I edit something a little better? What kind of graphics or something that I could work on that's really something that you're gonna pop and you're gonna say, I like that. That's what I'm always thinking about. Hey, even though you haven't seen much really change right now on YouTube, because I'm working on other stuff behind the scenes. And when those things become available, you will have access to them. Not for nothing, I got a whole bunch of stuff that I keep writing because I have to do days where I have to sit down somehow, because I got my real life as well, and just go through it, because quite frankly, I also want to make sure I give you guys, say, not just visual content, but audio content. I'm thinking about things for the future. I'm reaching out to people that I know. I'm reaching out to people who I don't necessarily know to see if they want to collab. Not to do something in particular, but to get their particular takes on stuff, even if necessarily it doesn't turn out to be a video for it. I do that because, quite frankly, I think it's a space that we are looking for. I listen, I appreciate that. I really do. Because some people are just out there just to collect your time. And for me, I understand that time is valuable and I don't want to waste yours. I might do a little bit of like what lead attorneys are, the long stroking, but it's because I'm actually thinking in my head to make sure that what I'm saying to you is going to be a little bit interesting, but also we're going to make it a little bit fun. I'm not the most entertaining person in the world, but I do whatever I can, because quite frankly, the more entertaining I get, the more incoherent I get. And I want to make sure that we are very much on par, because the people get very testy in the internet. I'm just saying. So my idea is to always give you guys a little bit of thought. How we're going to do about it. Maybe you guys do a little bit of introspection in your own time, because quite frankly, a lot of people don't take things the way they need to. Honestly, if we ever start building up to a time, I will even start looking in the comment sections and start reviewing stuff that you guys actually talk about in the comment section, because I think it's very important. Because sometimes people come with a very rigid stance in the world. And I think those who are extremely rigid, extremely, that's what I said, are those who are only doomed to perish quickly when change comes swiftly, because they are unable to adapt. And that's just my viewpoints on it. But you let me know, guys. You let me know. Anyway, we are running close to a 2-hour mark. I didn't even know it was gonna be over this long, but I love talking with you guys. I think that is pretty much going to be the end of the show, but not really. And I'm gonna give my last take on it right now. the last take is that basically, in summary, I think that content creators, while they're navigating a very complex platform, they're trying to figure out the best way that they're going to be able to become monetized. Those particular people need to be penalized heavily. And the reason why I say heavily is because, quite frankly, they're already violating YouTube guidelines. Number one, they are harassing each other, they're doxing each other, they're freaking turning around and threatening each other. These are things that are already not permitted within YouTube guidelines, by the way. They're turning around and saying the most obscene things about each other's families or whatever, even to the point where they're saying they're willing to sexually assault not only the person they're speaking to, but sexually assault their family members, their spouses, their children. These things are not to be tolerated, and yet YouTube has kind of turned a blind eye to it. I get it, because they're generating content, they're generating views, they generate excitement, and people want to view to it. But as a business, I get it. As a principle of policy, I do ask, if we're looking to safeguard families, if we're looking to safeguard children, where's the line? I'm not shitting on you for wanting to make money. Absolutely, make your bread. But where is the line? And once you define the line, can you hold the line? And that's going to be the end of my show. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for showing up. If you haven't already, do me a favor. Of course, like this video, or like this live stream, not necessarily video. Subscribe if that's something you actually have to be into. Not everybody is. Some people just like to ninja watch, and that's fine. Thank you for actually sitting out this long to be able to do so. And if you're not convinced that you want to actually subscribe to the channel, do me a favor. Watch some of my other content. Watch some of my videos. Definitely take a look at some of my shorts. I put a lot of time into this, and sometimes I like to wing it, which seems to be some of my funnest episodes for me personally, when I'm not doing too much into it. And I will see you on the next one. I love you guys. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you next time. Stay opinionated. Later, y'all.